In this video, we'll learn how to light this scene, as well as create this paper here for our scene. So let's start off with creating this swirly paper sort of effect, texture. It's just basically a bending paper. I saw this on Instagram and just thought it'd be a cool way to implement this into a render and try it in 3D. So what we'll do is we'll start off by creating this. Right, so the quickest way to get a curve up is I'm looking on my side view here, and the fastest way I found to get a curve going is to just add in a Bezier curve in object mode, tab into edit mode, select all, X to delete the vertices. Then come over here on your toolbar, just T, and you can use the draw here. And so I'm just going to roughly sort of draw something here, and this will give us a curve. And I just want to increase the error here, and that will decrease the amount of curves that are being used in here. So I want to reduce the curve amount down so that I have more control. So we'll just start adjusting this, and I spent quite a bit of time last time adjusting this one. So what I'll do is just rotate it. You can rotate it and G to grab, scale to S to scale it, and then you can just edit it like this. I can come over to here and increase the resolution of this curve so it's a bit smoother, and then we can continue on. So I had something like this. Let's grab this, scale that down. If you're familiar with like Illustrator and the pen tool, you'll do great here, but some people have trouble with curves. All right, so pretty happy with that, and we can start to use that curve like so. We could scale it up, we can adjust it from here, but for now, I want to get my paper in. So the way to get my paper in is Shift A. We can add in a plane, tab into edit mode, and scale this along the x-axis. So it's just sort of a thin strip. And then what I'll do is start dividing this up. And I want it roughly squares like this. So then I can press A to select all, right click and subdivide it. Then using Shift R to repeat the last action, I can add in subdivisions there. Then I can go Control 2, and Control 2 will add in a subdivision surface modifier with 2 levels of subdivision. You can use Control 1 for 1 level. So the next thing I want to do to this is add on a solidify modifier. So I'll drop that above the subdivision, and I only want it 1 mil thick. We'll go for an even thickness. And this just gives us a thickness to the paper here. And then of course, what I'm going to do here is add in a curve modifier, and that will actually go at the top. So if we can get it up there. Let's increase this, get it up there. We can close that now. And so then we can eyedropper this, and that's our curve modifier here. You can actually use the different rotations here, so you can try the different options to get it right. Mine's on -Y for the deform axes here. So then I can use the location in the paper to actually move this along. So use the y-axis, and I'll just move it along just enough so that it's not past this point. If I push it past this point, what will happen is it'll just go off straight off the end. So I want it just behind there. Right click, shade this smooth. Now I've still got some resolution issues in this, so 64 for the curve here, and that's good to go. Now the way I got the paper to do what it did last time is I got a rotation on it. So I think it was the z-axis. I just went negative like so, and so that's there is working. And then you can just reduce the y here, so to bring that paper back. And then of course you can grab this paper, then select the curve, Control P, and you can parent it to the object, keeping the transform. And that way I can move the paper along like so. I just want to let you know that we've built a free course to help you get started and up and running with product visualization in Blender. And so if you just go to interactive.studio, you can sign up to a course which will go through a complete project creating a iPhone 15 render, and I'll go through modeling it all the way to lighting and rendering it. You can also find the link for it down in the description. Alright, so the next step will be to begin to light this scene. So what I'll do first is I'll just split my view here, and I'll just click on the camera here, and I can go to camera view using the tilde key. I'll just press T to hide that. And down in my camera, I want to also go to viewport display and crank this pass part out up to 1 here. Now, I want to just quickly adjust some of this. So let's select this paper here, and we'll quickly just adjust some of this because I want the fold a little bit more here. And actually, let's move this a little bit more like this. And let's grab this and we'll move it across a little bit more so that I've got this base here and I've also got the fold up there. So now I can kick this into rendered view here, and that'll begin the start of our render. Quick note, using a HDRI, this one is from Grayscale Gorilla. So if I just open up the image editor to show you which one it is, just the Office from Grayscale Gorilla. Now this is a premium one. Of course you can find some on Polyhaven that you can use here. So then that's pretty good to go. So what I'll do is I'll close this and we'll start lighting it. So let's start off with the backlight. So we'll sort of start off with a spotlight that is filling this back area here. And what I'm going to do is just keep adjusting things. So let's move that across a little bit, somewhere there. All right, let's add in our first light. So Shift A will add in a area light. And then I'll just go to front view. I want this light up here. And I'm going to have it around 25 I had it. And we'll set it at a 45 spread. The reason for that is it'll be quite sharp of a light. If I press Shift T, I can actually point this light at the background here. And so I'll sort of move it over here, maybe Shift T to point it just in this area here. I'm going to scale it down a little bit just to fill that side there. So that's pretty good. Pretty good start. Let's move on to the next light. Quickly just turn off viewport overlays so that I can see what's going on here. Alright, so the next light will be to just fill in this side here. So we'll go Shift A, add in an area light, scale this one down a little bit. And I'm going to bring this one over here just a tad. And we'll go to front view and then bring it up here. Then we'll go Shift T to just point it straight here. This one is going to be about, let's go, we'll leave the power and we'll go bring the spread down to 90. So it's more direct. So now we notice the power's a bit too high. So we'll go halve that, 5. We can Shift D to duplicate this one and bring it over here. And then we can sort of bring it into the front a bit more. Let's take this over here actually, bring it over the side. Shift T, select that light, point it there. Then we'll grab this light, Shift T to beam it at the front. And this is where we can just reduce that light down. You can also scale this up a bit more, which will make it a bit softer. I'm also going to just quickly put on the paper texture to this, which was pre-made, which it's just a PBR texture from, I think it's Ambient CG. And it's just a paper setup. So that's pretty good. And the last light is just sort of in the base here. So we flipped it around, we stuck it under here, and we'll do 20, and that'll be extremely bright. So let's go 1. Then you can just light this. And so let's reduce that down. So the goal here was to actually have light on this area, which let's turn this on. Have light on this area and have this dark. And the reason for that is actually what we can do here is have this nice bit of contrast on this edge. So these two colors are creating a good amount of contrast here. And so that's why I lit that area. Let's increase that light and we'll get rid of this. So that's pretty good. So what I'll do is I actually send this out to render. So jump it into wireframe, render it. I'll also talk about some of the settings here. So AGX, medium, high contrast. Now you could probably use the new one, Chronos PBR, but I haven't used it yet, so I'd have to experiment a bit more with that to know how to use it. And then some of the settings in here are just TIFF, so, and then 200% for our high resolution image. And then we can view the render here. So what we get out is quite flat, and so then I can stick this in Affinity. So let's save this out. Save it as a TIFF with 16-bit here. Save image. And so what I would do from here is continue adjusting the lights here. So if you continue playing around with the lights, like the distances of lights, like if I bring these out a bit more, let's scale that one down. See, we can create more contrast. Sort of here. We'll try that. Give that a render. This is what's really powerful about HDRIs, is the detail adds into reflections that is in a lot of photography, but people don't notice all the time. Oop. So there's actually, just noticed, this is popping through the bottom. So all we've got to do there is just move this down just slightly, enough that it's not. Then we'll render it again. All right, save that as an image. And now I'll just go over quickly what I did in Affinity. So the top layer we can ignore. So we just got a few layers here. We rendered TIFF so that we have a ton of information in our render. And then all I've done is added a curve here. And so we're just going a general S curve. And I've brought this top part back to just, it sort of blows the highlights out a little bit. And it helps in this situation because of the shine on our tubes here. And then what I've also done is just lifted that black a little bit. You could go the other way and add more contrast, but I found in this case lifting the black helped a little bit in for this particular scene. You could always, you know, experiment either way and see what you like, save it out both ways. Then just the color balance, I added a little bit more cyan to this, and if you see what it's doing, this is with it off. So this is just a little bit orange. It's got this yellowish tinge to it. And so adding that cyan just brought out some of that color and softened the greens a lot and added that teal sort of look to the green. And it's probably extremely hard to see on render, but I just found this bit more appealing. It's a little bit softer, it's a little bit more nicer green. So then you can save that out as a render. Alright, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.